Hey everybody, Nicholas Snow here, and this is the first ever public reading that I'm doing from my Living Powerfully with HIV memoir, Life Positive, A Journey to the Center of My Heart. I'm recording this on June 23rd, 2014 in Pacific Daylight Time, and if you happen to see this video before June 30th, I wanted to let you know that I'm giving away free downloads of this book on Kindle for 5 days between June 26th and June 30th, 2014. Free downloads of the entire book worldwide. You don't have to own a Kindle to take advantage of this. You can download the Kindle app from the App Store for your smart device, or you can even download it from the web so you can use Kindle on your computer for free. So this is the book, Life Positive, A Journey to the Center of My Heart. My dedication on the front says, dedicated to the tens of millions of people in the world living with HIV, most of whom who do not yet know their status, to everyone who fights for us, and to those who still fear us, get tested and live longer and be strong. That "get tested and live longer and be strong" is one of the lyrics of my HIV testing safer sex awareness anthem called The Power to Be Strong. And you can view and share that music video subtitled in 20 languages at youtube.com/thepowertobestrong. The official Amazon page for Life Positive, the shortcut is lifepositivebook.com. That's lifepositivebook.com. Excuse me. So, I'm going to just start out. I'm going to be reading chapter 1, but I want to start out by reading the synopsis on the back by Kristen Johnson. She's my good friend, and she edited the book. So she writes, in Bangkok, Thailand, Hollywood's primo promo homo on the go-go, Nicholas Snow is eking out a modest living as a foreign correspondent, actor, and media personality when, in a moment of personal desperation, he makes a decision that changes his life forever. Decades into the AIDS pandemic and completely armed with the knowledge to protect himself, during a moment of passion with a man who is unaware of having HIV, Nicholas has a rare slip in his safer sex behavior and becomes HIV positive. What might have been the end of a lifetime of dreams turns out to be only the beginning of a remarkable journey that Nicholas himself chronicles in real time as he is living it. Part 12-step program, 4th-step inventory, part reality show on paper, this is the painful yet triumphant saga of how Nicholas Snow uses his own mistake as an opportunity to empower millions of people throughout the world by disclosing not only his HIV status, but his experience, strength, and hope as well. From Hollywood to Bangkok to Bali and beyond, including Kuala Lumpur and Palm Springs, with profound expansion to Singapore, Mumbai, and throughout all of Asia, and ultimately in 21 languages across the globe, Life Positive, A Journey to the Center of My Heart could easily be titled Eat, Pray, Disclose. If you or someone you love are LGBTQI and or a person living with HIV/AIDS, or working on behalf of those living with HIV/AIDS, or are in any way affected by HIV/AIDS, or if someone you love may be, even unknowingly, infected with HIV, you need to read this book. If you have in your life, if you have risked it all in pursuit of a dream and a passion, you need to read this book. If your life has been changed forever in an instant by an event or challenge, and you have had to decide what to do next despite incredible opposition, you need to read this book. So that's the back cover by Kristen Johnson, and then I have on the back cover, fight for the life and the world of your dreams until you have no life left in this world, for then you will have truly lived. You know, a couple times a year I will be giving the book away on Kindle. So if you're seeing this video after this particular giveaway, then go to facebook.com/lifepositiveBook, sign up for the page, like the page, facebook.com/lifepositivebook, and I will be happy to let you know when the next giveaway happens. The book is also available in paperback, and there are reviews of the book. The shortcut to the Amazon page is lifepositivebook.com. So here is chapter 1. Excuse me. Okay. Chapter 1, Writing at Last. Sunday, May 4th, 12:52 p.m., Bangkok, Thailand. Oh, such relief. I've put some words down. I've begun to write what's been swirling in my head, sometimes with great turbulence, for so long. And the timing is rather significant because I will leave in about half an hour for what could be the most pivotal meeting of my life. I feel compelled to start the journey now, a journey I've actually been on for all my life. But now is the time to be focused on empowering others with this true tale, a tale that I envision will be filled with hope, joy, and triumph. From rural Arizona to the red carpets of Hollywood to amazing Thailand, this story is filled with people from all walks of life. Movie and television stars, musicians, royalty, activists, gay men, lesbians, transgendered folk, writers, entrepreneurs, high-ranking government officials, members of multiple 12-step programs, anonymously of course, and friends and family, living and not. When I arrived in the Kingdom of Thailand to live on January 29, 2006, I was filled with hope, ambition, and big goals. I was in Thailand officially as a foreign correspondent recognized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I wanted to meet and report about members of the Thai royal family. I wanted to launch a new website to report adventures in the world of travel and entertainment throughout this part of the world, in keeping with my long history of doing so about Hollywood. In addition, I wanted to establish myself in Thailand on television and in motion pictures. Truth be told, I accomplished all of the above, but it did not happen easily. In fact, I must say that I almost died emotionally. I thought of dying physically, but I did not die spiritually. It is my faith in a higher power greater than myself that kept me going then and keeps me going now. It was not my plan after 25 years of being a sexually active gay man who knew how to take care of myself and my partners that in Thailand, where so many of my dreams have come true, I would become HIV positive. It is a bit shocking to me now to even see this on the computer screen. Yes, I had a slip in early August of 2007 in my safer sex practices, during which I became infected with HIV. The reason I know I was exposed is that my most recent HIV negative test result was in fact while living in Thailand, and because a couple of weeks after my rare unsafe sex incident, I got a severe flu-like illness that was unexplained and did not go away with the usual course of medication. Upon going to the hospital and speaking with one physician, I was referred to the hospital's infectious disease specialist who asked me about my sexual behavior and then explained that my symptoms could be the result of recent acute HIV infection. I was in a state of disbelief, and also broke at the time, so I did not have a test to confirm this theory. I returned home, finished recuperating, and went on with my life. About 4 months later, as the Western New Year approached, between Christmas and New Year's to be exact, I went to an anonymous HIV testing site, alone, with the idea that I would reconfirm my HIV negative status and use this information to strengthen my resolve to maintain safer sex practices. Thankfully, the clinic was closed because I returned a week later on January 3rd, 2008, not alone, but this time with 2 friends. Yes, on January 3rd, 2008, with 2 close friends nearby, I tested HIV positive. After typing that last sentence, I sat here staring at the computer, once again, in disbelief. This story is as much for me as it is for anyone else. Let's all get something out of it, shall we? When I came out of the closet as a gay man in the early 1980s, it was a direct response to the new HIV/AIDS epidemic, the loss of my great-grandmother to natural causes, the loss of my best friend to suicide, and my time away from my conservative Republican family in the early years of college, and because of what I learned about myself during a 2-year relationship with a girlfriend. Since then, a huge theme in my life, one that I have articulated in the media, all forms, time and time again, is expressing my life force in a way that makes a difference, in honor of those who can no longer do so and those who may never choose to do so, out of fear. In keeping with this approach, I would end most episodes of my Los Angeles-based public access cable television show, Tinseltown's Queer, with the mantra, express the truth of your life to the people whom you can influence, because silence equals death and action equals life. Of course, this was a tribute to ACT UP, the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power, but for me it also embodied the importance of coming out to friends and family. Another important point to make right now is that my involvement in the media has been both reactive and proactive. On the reactive part, I realized that I have almost always lacked what I like to refer to as authentic self-esteem, and I have been wrought with guilt and shame for ever having taken up oxygen on the planet. I was historically driven by desperation to make a difference in the world and receive external validation to compensate for being such an inferior being. Was I? Am I a terrible person? Not hardly. But as they say in the rooms of anonymous 12-step recovery meetings, I have a disease of misperception. I've been proactive as well because in my own search I did grasp the power of communicating the truth in a way that makes a difference. I have to tell you that if I was clear about my love for myself and my worthiness of being loved, that I believe I would not have participated in the behavior that left me HIV positive. I was also unaware of or in denial of the recent facts, figures, and statistics about the prevalence of HIV around me. So, having been HIV positive for almost exactly 9 months, today I give birth to my future. After having confirmed my HIV positive status for 4 months and 1 day, I spent a lot of time figuring out what to do. The fast-forward version is that I want to come out in the media as an HIV-positive person to be part of the solution. I want to do this because I am living in a culture in Asia that is in denial of and or undereducated about the topic, and because I'm a public figure of sorts. In fact, I'm a foreign correspondent appearing on national television in a variety of magazines and in recent years worldwide on YouTube. In my work in the media over the last quarter century, I've reached millions of people. I now want to reach them in a different way, an empowered way, in this journey to make a difference, and in my effort to stay connected to authentic, sustainable self-esteem. In some ways, this is a journey to the center of my heart, but I have to acknowledge that if I wasn't already very much living in the center of my heart, I would not be writing these words now. So, about this upcoming meeting, I recently learned the name of one of the highest-ranking people in the world involved in fighting HIV/AIDS in conjunction with the United Nations. I also learned that he is currently in Thailand, but I don't believe he lives here. I Googled him, found his email, introduced myself vaguely, and have arranged to meet him in 20 minutes in the lobby of the Metropolitan Hotel. I had no idea I would start my book before the meeting, but writing now, I know the story will be filled with serendipity and that it will be more powerful for all concerned if I write it as I live it. I suppose this would be an appropriate time to revisit one of my all-time favorite quotes by Goethe. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. So I'm following my own advice, and I'm honored, very much so, that you have joined me for the journey. You know, I think I'm going to leave it there. That is actually the first portion of Chapter 1, and I think that gives you a tone of how the book begins to unfold. And I chronicle my experiences I want to just figure out what's the date of the last entry. Thank you for your patience. April 24th, 2011. So about 3 years later is one of the final entries, and then the book ends with some other reflections. So this is my book, Life Positive, A Journey to the Center of My Heart. It's available worldwide in paperback and on Kindle. Once or twice a year, I'll be giving the book away on Kindle. And I encourage you to share this video if you're in any way inspired by the book. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my video. It's kind of spontaneous, unrehearsed, as you can tell, but from my heart. My official website is snowbiznow.com, snowbiznow.com, snowbiznow.com. Until next time, I'm Nicholas Snow. Thank you for joining me for my little book reading.